Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to the EML Challenge Cup. We are here tonight for season one, actually, of this Challenge Cup. It's season 7, technically, within EML. It is round 2 of the championship. We go to the British Grand Prix. We come home, at least for one of us here on the commentary box, coming into tonight. CPI Esports lead the way from Esports Peck and Future Racing Team first, second, and third. My name is James Head, though. You don't care about the top 3, I'm sure. You care more about who's alongside me in the commentary box. It is, of course, Mr. Michael Edwards. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and yeah, I mean, it's home for the both of us. I mean, we're both British, James. Come on now, it's home for the both of us. We are home for the home of British motorsport. We're going racing at Silverstone tonight, and honestly, it's a track that every single driver, it doesn't matter where you're from, knows like the back of their hand. So we're expecting some high quality racing here tonight.
And if it's anything to go by from Esports Masters League, of course, around here, we had a little bit of controversy regarding a restart and things like that. So hopefully that doesn't happen here tonight. We have got, I'm glad to report, 12 people within the lobby right now. There are invites getting out. We should be good to go pretty much at 8 o'clock, dead on, which is good time to actually run through what happened, of course, last week. And CPI Esports, as I say, top the standings. Esports Peck there in second on 33. Future Racing Team in third on 32. And Team TF10 in fourth on 27. Avisio in fifth on 19. AMS in 6th and 17 with Grand Track 10 on 17, TTM on 15, VMV in 15 on 15, and then Bunga Racing Team in 10th on 12 points. And the bottom end of the graphic, we have got, unlike WR Legacy Division, a bottom half of the graphic, which is good. Full Script Esports in 11th on 10, QSL on 9, then Evolution Esports in 13th on 8, FRC are on 7 in 14, Sierra Esports on 5, Deluxe Esports on 3, EOS on 2, Team GeForce and Xbox Pro Gamers, who actually didn't attend last week, both on nil point, and then we've got a vacant spot, of course, right down at the bottom end of the field. Looking at the standings, though, Mike, it is early days. It is after round 1, but CPI top in the standings. I will let you know they had a 1-2 last night in WR Legacy Division and Imola. They're in a rich vein of form and team events coming into tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And CPI, obviously one of the long-standing teams on the PlayStation platform, like they have been about, well, I don't know how many years right now that they're part of the furniture CPI, and honestly, you're seeing it. They have been growing rapidly over the past couple of game cycles, and they're starting to get back to the heights that we saw them a few years ago, and it's fantastic to see.
It is fantastic to see. And yeah, CPI have got real, um, what was I going to say? I've just lost my train of thought. They've got a really good, I think, effervescent lineup within their signings. They've got Urpec, of course. They had Jovan Bussell racing last night in WR Legacy Division. And here, of course, with CPI, they have been former champions in EML. So they have got a rich vein of form coming into tonight, as I say. FRT, though, in third, very much best of the Xbox teams right now. They are now mixing, of course, with some of the PlayStation lineup as well. But FRT did well in the EML, doing well so far here in the EML Challenge Cup. This could be their real claim to fame. They're down in third at the minute. But as I say, it's very early days.
It's early days, but I mean, it's a good start for FRT, and of course, they are getting some very good points on the board. Done well in EML, and of course, they're doing well so far here in the Challenge Cup. So hopefully, they're going to be continuing on in their rich vein of form and continuing to show what they're made of.
And definitely so. And hopefully, every single team out there and every single driver who was partaking out there will definitely see everything going on coming into tonight. We are going to go through the grid as well of who we expect to be racing. These are all names. I've seen no changes ever since this driver lineup was produced about 20 minutes ago. So for TTM, we've got Josh Gilly. For EVE, we've got Vessel in for EVE. Was meant to be in race 2. He's now in race 1. SVC Lewis for TGF, and then it's Oku, the Finn, who we've seen, of course, in the ML this season, the Finn for BRT. CPI, Fraser, and FRT typical in the McLarens for both CPI and FGE. Very good lineup, I've got to say, for the McLarens. Watch out for them. Ema Molina in for DLX alongside QSL Gabsa. He moves to race 1, was meant to be on race 2. Even Eskrig there for Peck alongside Set Domi. some of these pronunciations we didn't go through, by the way, before, so I will apologise in advance. NAM and AMS RM are in for GT10 and AMS, respectively, in the Alpines. In the Williams, it is XPG S29M. Very, very much a good name to have on your side. And FRT Rap is there for FRT. TF10 have got Michele, and then EVI even have got TF10 Kevin's, former TF10 man, of course. For ERS, the logo that still cannot be seen on this graphic is Myth Shadow in the Kick Sauber. And then for the final two teams, we've got FRC with Noban, and then VMV have got Riesel in as well. Very, very diverse lineup coming in tonight once again, Mike, for race one. We've got very good names, though. Josh Gilly, Vessel, Fraser, Typical, Oku. List goes endlessly on, and there are a notable amount of good drivers within this first lobby.
Yeah, absolutely. Wessel, very good driver. Lewis, very good driver. Oku, a very good driver. Fraser, Typical. Honestly, this is going to be an absolute treat, James. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be an absolute treat. And we know what a lot of these drivers are capable of, and we know the kind of levels that these guys can get to. So it's going to be good.
It is going to be very good indeed. And what is also going to be very good is that we promised an announcement, and it's 8 o'clock, dead on the spot. Thank God for our waffling at the start of this stream, because we are going to introduce to you EML season number 8. And I just want to make sure I've got all the graphics in, just to make sure I've got everything in that I want to show. This is EML season 8. And I'm delighted that I've come up with this calendar, and there's going to be a lot of people now angry at me because, why didn't you put this track on? Why didn't you put this track on? It's a very diverse lineup, I'm going to say. We start with qualifiers on the 8th of January. That is the 8th of January, so just after the New Year. Pretty much the first Wednesday after the New Year, in fact, apart from New Year's Day, obviously. Bahrain is round 1 on the championship 2 weeks later for January 22nd. Then it's Australia for round number 2, where we go down under, where the women go men plunder on January the 29th. Chinese Grand Prix for round 3 for Shanghai on February the 5th. Then it's Britain for round 4 of the championship for February 12th. Produce a very good race around there in both console Tier 1 and Tier 2 this season. Monaco, round number 5. People are thinking, why the bloody hell have you put that in? Round 5, Monaco. It's a different track, and we've never had it since season 1. That's why we're putting Monaco in. And then Hungary, round 6 of the championship, February the 26th. And that all goes down to the season finale for Abu Dhabi on April the 16th. And you will realise immediately, Mr. Michael Edwards, that we've got a 12-round calendar, the longest calendar in EML history.
Yeah, absolutely. The longest calendar in EML history. And honestly, with the calendar being extended now, an extra 2 races compared to previous seasons, it does allow a bit more competition over the course of the rounds. Because sometimes, you may be thinking, oh, I'm out of it by round 6 now. But now, you can maybe claw yourself back into it. You never know. I mean, we've seen, obviously, in Barcelona, in EML, obviously, Team Shazoo and ET8 taking it down to the final 2 races of the season, and even the final race of the season at some points. And that maybe a gap could form between the pair of them. And maybe you could see a comeback from one of those 2 teams. Maybe even the likes of NLR, obviously being very good in 3rd place over previous seasons. Maybe they can close up and have a good final run in the final couple of races to really challenge the top 2. So, I mean, you never know. 2 extra races, anything can happen.
You never know. And the good thing is, as well, both from Console Tier 1 and Console Tier 2 this season, I just call it Console Tier 1 because it's much easier. Console Tier 1 and Console Tier 2, the top 2 both get wildcard entries. So ET8 and Team Shazoo both get wildcarded in. Very good, I've got to say, because we could continue the third leg, essentially, of the rivalry between ET8 and Team Shazoo. And also, we've got FGE and who was second in... It was IRT. IRT in second in Console Tier 2, or Con 2. Falls Group Esports took the win there. IRT in second. They both get wildcard entries, of course, for Console Tier 2 once again. Providing that competitive, and we've got 8 spots available for each qualifying tier. So that means, no matter how many teams that do get signed up, there's going to be plenty of opportunity to not only get just a little bit of exposure and get your social media and everything involved, but it also provides an opportunity for teams that we've not necessarily seen over the last while here in EML to come back better than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, there's definitely going to be some teams that will be looking to try and step back in to EML to see what they can do. Obviously, with the addition of those guys coming in from exports, it allows a lot more competition across the board and more competitiveness between both of the tiers here in EML. And I don't know, I'm very excited, James. I'm very excited for the future.
I'm also very excited for the future because yours truly has put this calendar on and yours truly is going to be running EML once again for season number 8, which, to the absolute delight of some of you, that also means I could potentially doing stewarding again. So that's going to be very good indeed. But what is also very good is that the same point system from EML Challenge Cup carries over to season 8. Brand new point system for EML season 8. And it is 22 points for race win, 18 points for second, 15 for third, and then it's 1 point increments. Sorry, not 1 point increments. Fourth place gets 12, then it's 1 point increments all the way down to the 15th place. That means 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th do not get points, but there are pole position points and also fastest lap points as well. 1 point for each. That means more competitiveness, more, I think, closeness in terms of the title. Also means we could see some really good battles out on track in terms of the championship, as we are about to get underway, Mike, for the Challenge Cup here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are about to jump into the lobby, James. And obviously, two drivers unfortunately weren't able to make it in time. So we are running with 17 of the expected 19 drivers here tonight. And I believe it's Typical and Domi that are missing from the lineup here tonight.
Yeah, I think it's Sierra Esports and who was the other one? It was False Group
FRT.
Esports. Yeah, so you're totally right. FRT Typical and Domi there for for Sierra Esports. Not joining round 1, race 1 even for technically round 2. It's confusing. I know, I get confused sometimes even on this stream. By the way, about EML signups, EML signups will be open tomorrow. There'll be social media posts and everything on the EML account at EML_F1 if you want to follow us, of course, on X. Console 1 is on Wednesday, 8 p.m. UK time. Console 2, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. UK time. So note the earlier start time. Qualifying on the 8th of January, round 1 on the 22nd of January. And as I say, signups will be open tomorrow, which is good because I'm not here. And that also means it's my birthday. So there you go. You get an early treat.
Well, a happy early birthday to yourself then, James. And hopefully, we'll be leaving here tonight after witnessing some fantastic racing to put you in the right mood ahead of your birthday.
Oh, I really hope so. I'm going down to York tomorrow, so it should be very nice indeed. But what should be very nice is we've only got 5 seconds to go until one-shot qualifying. Let us know in the comment section who you think is going to top this session here in race 1. One-shot qualifying, though, is about to begin. And we have got the VMV man of Riesel that we're going to ride on board with. I'm going to try and flick on board with a different man if I can. And I was going to go on board with the man of Josh Gilly if I can find him. That's Gabsa. It's very tricky to find where he is on my screen. Where is he? There he is. No, that's Nam. We'll get there eventually. I don't know why I've tried it this way, to be honest. Josh Gilly is there. There is the Red Bull. Now coming down in towards Brooklands and Luffield in towards turn 6 and 7. Eventually got there in the end. Now on board with Josh Gilly, coming through the left-hander now of turn number 6, through the right-hander now of turn number 7, before we embark, of course, at Woodcote. And Josh Gilly not looking too bad at all. For Top Tier Motorsport, who look to try and be top tier again tonight. Let's see, though, if they can. On the run now, down into in towards the old turn 1, down in towards Cop's Corner at turn number 9. Pretty much halfway through the lap then at this point. Rapp is out on top for FRT, Fraser in second, Kevin's in third, Vessel and Josh Gilly. All the ones that we expect to be up there are up there. Nam, disappointing, might have invalidated early on, down in 17th position. And McKellar is doing terribly as well for Team TF10 in this one shot right now. But Josh Gilly, 1 on 2.8 in that middle sector. Not looking too bad. He's got to find about a 10th or 2 to try and match it with Fraser, try and match it with Vessel. Looks like he's running more of a straight line speed setup than he is. Now running through Stowe in toward the left-hander and the right-hander of Vale, and then in toward Club Corner at the final corner. Stepping out that rear end there slightly for the Brit. Cost him a little bit of time. Fraser in the end, 25.9 in a one-shot qualifying session is very special indeed. Fraser has topped the session by 0.3 of a second. That's madness.
Yeah, absolutely incredible that from Fraser. You can see 2.5 times ahead of Mulder there in second place, and that is nothing to just be snuffed at there. Fraser topping the times.
Just totally realised, by the way, that I don't think you got any sound for that last. Apologies. Fraser out on top, Mulder there in second, Rapids there in third, Vessel in fourth, Kevin's there in fifth, Josh Gilly there in sixth. Oku did make up ground, but he tossed it all away in that first sector, down in seventh. XPG there in eighth with S29, then Lewis in ninth, even S Group there in 12th and 10th. Gabsa, Riesel, Michele, Ima Molina, Myth Shadow the top 15, Noban and Nam, the Frenchman and the Belgian respectively, both invalidating for DNFing out on track. Already questions, by the way, I can see it in the Discord. Dirk asking where can I find the prize pool for next season and is there any PC from Reflex? There is no PC for EML next season, which is very disappointing. It's just because we haven't got the people essentially to run both EML PC and EML console. So that's why we're putting all of our attention into EML console. We will explore the PC route for sure. And as regards to prize pool I think will be very much the same compared to last season. So apologies, we didn't cover that. It's because we haven't decided it yet, partly. But I'll let you know, with that, the prize pool potentially is going to be the same. I'm sure Mace will be working in the background regarding any sponsors and partners and things like that. So we'll try and get them on board. But here tonight, at least, Mike, we're better get going even for the racing out on track. And with Fraser top in the session, 3/10 clear pretty much of his nearest rival, it's surely CPI's race to lose, is it?
I mean, it's one thing to do it in qualifying, James. There's another thing to do it in the race, as you know. Sticking in the DRS train is definitely going to be important for the guys behind Fraser early on. They do not want to be battling in the first sector and allow Fraser to build that gap. But I'm looking at the weather, James. Looking pretty overcasted, pretty British as we got the 5 red lights.
It is looking very overcast indeed, but the 5 red lights are about to go out here. In beautiful blue sky and sunshine, I may add. Fraser gets us underway, and it is lights on the way go. And even Molina has not even moved off the line. Not sure if he's there, and not sure if he realised that we're starting straight away. Fraser, though, and Rapids are side by side, coming now through in towards turn number 3. In fact, it's Mulder and Rapids that are side by side in towards turn number 3. Everyone is now through Village safely, now through the loop. As Ima Molina's been disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. Mulder there gets tagged, I think, round by maybe Kevin's, I think, or Vessel, one of the two. Now all the way down into 11th position. McKelly there in 10. Lewis there in 12. Now flying down in towards Brooklands for the first time. Fraser leads the way. Rapids there in second. Vessel there in third. Great start for Fraser. Great start for Rapids. Not a good start if you're Mulder.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with Mulder there. He was a little bit sideways, so I'm guessing potentially a little bit of contact in the first sector at the loop and entry there. But yeah, Josh Gilly, though, out there, the leader of the medium compound tyres, so he's going a little bit different to the guys ahead of him, and that could play pivotal come the end of the race, James.
Gabs has left the session. Hopefully we can try and get him back in due course. Fraser out on top, though. Rapids in second. Vessel there in third. Most drivers, actually, you're right, starting on a set of soft compounder tyres. Josh Gilly on the set of mediums is under pressure, though, from Ivan Eskrig, the Spaniard, to the inside line. For Esports Peck trying to get the top-tier motorsport man, and does get the top-tier motorsport man coming out of Stowe. So the Aston Martin now ahead of the Red Bull. Mulder and XPG trying to make up ground as well after that shocking start that he had. Mulder goes around the outside of the XPG man. Job done for him. He soon he's into 8th. XPG there down into 9th, and then Calais there in 10th. But it's Fraser that leads the way. Rapids there in 2nd, who's looking rapid currently for FRT. Vessel there in 3rd. Great start for the EVE man. Kevin's there in 4th. Oku there in 5th. So pretty much everyone that we expect to be up there is up there in the early stages, bar from potentially Josh Gilly and McCullough.
Yeah, absolutely. I am trying to get Gabs back in as quickly as possible. Oh, he's back in the team. Happy days. Yeah, Fraser doing it's called well at the moment, holding off Rappies and Wessel in behind is very close at the front. There's a nice little DRS train forming here, James, especially in the top 5. Ivan just a little bit off the back of the top 5, but he's got Josh Gilly over the back of him, and Josh Gilly needs to hope that Ivan can stay on the back of these guys, because if he loses DRS, then it's going to be very difficult for Josh to get back within DRS range until the tyre compound.
Oh, mistake by Kevins! Sorry to cut you off, Mike. Kevins has had a huge moment. Cold Brown coming on the curb there, coming through Chapel even, and that is now him down into 5th. Oku takes full advantage of that. For Kevin's sake, do not watch that back later on, because I was on board with Oku, saw entirely what went on there, and Kevin's just made a mistake, got too trigger happy on the curb, spun the car around, recovered it, albeit, but has lost the position to Oku. So the BRT man now into 4th, as Nam is into the pit lane early on. So Nam, the GT10, into the pit lane early on, means though, Ivan Eskrig, who was 7 tenths behind on Kevin's, has just got a free pass with that mistake from Kevin's.
Yeah, absolutely. Ivan now closed up again, around about half a second off the back of Kevin's, yeah. And he's got, as I was mentioning with Josh Giddy and behind on the set of the medium tyres, he's doing well to stick in it. He got Mulder over the back of Josh, and maybe Mulder could have a little look down the inside in towards Bucklands. He's going to go for it.
And
down the inside.
Oh. Is it going to come out on top? Josh Gilly now to the inside line, still trying to fight the car. This is surely Mulder's move. It is Mulder's move. He's aged like a bit like fine mulled wine there, Mulder. He's through and he's into 7th. Josh Gilly there in 8th. Bekele there in 9th. It's never too early to get a Christmas pun in. Rappers leads the way. Fraser in 2nd. Vessel there in 3rd. And actually, we missed the overtake for the race lead. Rappers got Fraser for that race lead. Vessel, though, for EVE, all over the back of the Dutchman. Former LRN man, if I'm not mistaken, back in the day. Now part of the EVE setup, and now hunts down the back of Fraser, running down the straight in towards Stowe. Is he going to be boxed in, though? Yes, he is, because Fraser goes for the inside on and Rapids. Job done for him, and there's contact and there's damage as well to the left side and plate of Vessel, who's come out on top. Oku, I think, gets an illegal overtake and all that as well. Also carnage in behind, because Kevin's and even Eskrig are trying to go for the move, but Vessel has got notable damage. Front 2 are now away, and it's now going to be surely a battle for 3rd, as now Oku has to try and get past down in towards Avian Farm. Can't manage the move for now, but the Finn right on the back of the Dutchman.
Yeah, that instant there you just saw it was going to happen. Wessel tried to keep a nice little tight line to try and get a move down, but you saw Rabi, he's trying to look for a switchback on Fraser, and the two just both went for a gap, and they just both came together. A bit of damage here for Wessel, though, and he's now a sitting duck. Here comes Oku.
Here comes Oku to the inside line. Easy as you like for the Finn. Could be a flying Finn here tonight in the Mercedes. Could be following in the footsteps, of course, of Valtteri Bottas. He's turning into 3rd. Vessel there in 4th. Kevin's there in 5th in the early stages of the Grand Prix. Let me know, by the way, if there's any issues about the stream. Everything seems good on my end, at least. Mulder on the back of Kevin's, looking to the inside line and towards Stowe. Never pull off a move down and towards Stowe. I've known that fine too well in my days racing back in the day around here, because I actually made contact with somebody coming through turn number 9 at that same part of the track. So Mulder backs out of it, follows what I would have done now about 5 years later, and Mulder has definitely done that, and he stays in behind on Kevin's. Kevin's, though, gets a good run on Vessel. Vessel now coming back at Oku. Again, straight line speed, really, really strong, and the DRS really, really strong around here. Oku now loses 2 positions. Kevin's forced to the outside line on Oku. Oku now forced to the outside line as a result, and Kevin's has got the job done. So Vessel through, Kevin's through. Nearly, though, Constantina in towards the chicane of Valen Club.
Yeah, but what we're seeing now, James, obviously Wessel with that front wing damage, he's just not going to have the downforce compared to the likes of Fraser and Rabbies up ahead. So you're going to see that gap continuously increase. And at what point do you think these guys in behind are going to think, okay, it's time for the pit stop, we got to get away from Wessel and try to undercut these guys ahead?
I'd be honest, if I was Vessel, I would have been in the I'd be in the pit lane the next 2 or 3 laps just to try and save face, get that from wing change, then try and gain all the time back as Mulder goes to the inside line of Oku. Beautiful helicopter cam, I've got to say, one of the best camera angles I think we've ever seen from co-bosses in this game. Mulder still tries hanging around the outside. Oku on the inside line, might get the run actually on Kevin's. If they're not careful, this could be 3 wide and towards Stowe. And on the outside line, just about see the 3 cars in towards Stowe. Mulder gets the move done on Oku. Really nice driving there from Kevin's as well, just to back them up slightly. Gap though increasing up front, 2.4 seconds between Fraser and Vessel for 2nd and 3rd. And Rapids and Fraser looking rapid right now for the FRT and CPI man. They are looking very, very strong right now. Kevin's, though, looking strong on the back of Vessel. Looks to try and get the job done. Vessel like a bolt down in towards Stowe. Kevin's easy, through and into 3rd.
Yeah, Kevin's through up ahead of Wessel now. Mulder has been on absolute chart since the early contact, and he's trying to make his way back up the order. You got Josh Gilly and Ivan going side by side through the club section, and it's Josh Gilly that has made that move stick. And here's the question now, James: are the medium tyres starting to come into play now?
I think the mediums are coming into play, and that was going to be my next point, actually. So it's like, yeah, but we work well together, to be honest. And it's minds working brilliantly together there. Josh Gilly on the back of Oku, definitely looking stronger. Josh Gilly, if I'm not mistaken, was part of TTM's lineup in Britain, if I'm not mistaken, this season in the EML. And he did do very, very well, if I'm not mistaken. I'll get the results in a bit, but Josh Gilly did very well around here. Definitely looks strong. It's his home track. He's on the back of a Finn in front. Nearly has a moment through the outside of Luffield for the speed. Sideways moment there for Oku. Bit of Scandinavian drifting there kicking in, but Josh Gilly on the back. Surely now the mediums are into play, and surely this is going to be Josh Gilly on the back of Oku down the straight in towards Stoke.
Yeah, you're just seeing through the corners, Josh Gilly just has that grip at the moment over Oku, and you're going to see the run now coming out at Chapel, and it's a much better run than what Oku got, but I don't think he's going to be making that move. Meanwhile, up ahead, possible 3-wide moment. Mulder's getting through on Kerrins, Wessel getting through on Kerrins. Kerrins down to P5, and Josh Gilly has to settle in behind Oku for the time being, so no move there between. Oh, as Ivan's actually into the pits.
Yeah, Ivan Eskrig, I've just actually tapped my screen and he took off the Elgato there, but Ivan is into the pit lane. So Ivan Eskrig into the pit lane. This is what I said I thought what Vessel would do. Come in the pit lane early, try and save face, go for a set of medium compounded tyres. Mediums in a traditional 50% race is the side-by-side in the background. Josh Gilly and Oku, and again a side-by-side. BRT and TTM hate each other from WRLAC division. Are they going to hate each other tonight after EML Challenge Cup? Josh Gilly gets a phenomenal run though. Now to the inside line, down and towards Brooklyn. This is surely only going to be one way this is going. Josh Gilly inside line. Oku's still there on the outside, to be fair to him. The Finn holds the inside line. Now coming through Luffield. Once again through Luffield, and Oku stays ahead. Brilliant fight back by the Finn.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I had a glorious helicopter camera of that entire battle through Brooklands and left field right there between Oku and Josh Gill. And honestly, I think it's all going to depend now for Josh, this run out of Chapel onto the Hangar Straight. That is what it's going to be all about, and we're going to see if he's going to be close enough to make this move. And he is it's a fantastic move. A fantastic bit of line work there for Josh Gill to get this, to get in position to make this overtake around the outside of Stowe. Can he pull this off?
No.
No.
And the three in front are in. Mulder, Vessel, Kevin's all into the pit lane. Fraser into the pit lane as well. Quite clearly, they haven't done their maths, it seems, out on track, because medium compounded tyres, they can last 12 or 13 laps in a 50% race. If you're engineering the same as what you are, I would be thinking immediately, anybody that pits in earlier, gets track position, gets the run of the race, and potentially will go on to be on the podium here tonight in Silverstone. So it's very surprising to see it's not surprising now to see drivers in, but for the likes of Nam, who pitted in 3 laps earlier, and he's right down the back end of the field as Josh Gilly goes to the move on Oku. Round 3 between these two, and now Josh Gilly gets the move. Medium compounded tyres, much better in towards Brooklands that time around. Oku just lets him go. Dooney's into second. Oku there in third. The XPG man of S29 also getting into this in fourth and looking pretty strong right now.
Yeah, I'm just wondering right now, is Oku not really going to get his elbows out for this one now because he's going to be into the pit lane at the end of this lap? I think he definitely needs to come into the pit lane and respond to those guys that have just come into the pits. You see Mulder now 3.2 off the back of Fraser. And we're going to be able to see what his pace is like as Myth Shadow picks up a 3-second time penalty. The first one of the evening. Took 8 laps together, James, so everyone's doing pretty decent so far on track limits.
XPG still trying to go around the outside of Oku. Ooh. I'm not sure if that was a force off track of just the S29 put him in the wrong position. I think it was more the latter rather than the former. Oku, though, was into the pit lane. Rappers is into the pit lane. Lewis and Gabs, I thought they were side by side. Gabs is into the pit lane. I was going to say why they were side by side coming through there. Means now, though, Josh Gilly does lead the way. And the Red Bull out in front from the Williams. And the Williams looking to try and get on the back for XPG. On the back of the TTM man of Josh Gilly. Josh is looking pretty strong right now, but where on earth is Oku and Rappers going to come out in relation to Fraser and even Eskrig? Fraser's at the final corner. Rappers is not even at the end of the pit lane yet. This is Fraser going to be miles ahead coming out the pit lane, surely. There's Fraser. There's Rappers just coming out of the pit lane there now. That's about more than a second, I think, by how this is going to go. Fraser has got Rappers out of DRS range. Is he going to do what I did around here in League of Europe and try and string out the field, albeit pick up a few 3-second penalties and try and win the race?
Well, that's going to be interesting to find out now. Obviously, Raptors is just within DRS range, so he will obviously be able to close up with that rear wing, allowing him the straight line speed to close up. And in terms of what we're going to see now, is Fraser versus Rappies, but they cannot battle too much because only 3 seconds back is the likes of Ivan, Wessel, and Mulder, and we already know the pace of them guys. If they get into this battle, it's going to be a tasty one for the race win.
It is going to be a tasty one, but at the minute, 2.9 seconds to Rappies, and they are on warmer tyres, which should be quicker than Rappies and Fraser right now. In my opinion, I don't think that gap's going to close. I think we're going to get Fraser Rappies for the race lead. It could get tactical between them both. I don't think they're losing, though, that much, as Myth Shadows just picked up a 10-second penalty for ERS coming into the pit lane. The Red Bull, though, of Vessel trying to go around the outside of Mulder. Can't find the move just yet. Fraser sets the fastest lap of the race. Huge lag back there from Mulder, actually. Down in towards turn number 1. Vessel very lucky to actually come out on that on top. They're still in 7th. Mulder they're in 6th. Even Esprig there in 5th doing very good. Josh Gilly, though, XPG still yet to come in the pit lane. Remember, though, softs are going to be quicker towards the end of the race. They're not out of it just yet. But by the time they rejoin, Mike, when in track position, they're going to be probably between Oku and Gabsa, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was thinking that they would come out in between Oku and Gabsa, but on those soft tyres, I mean, they should be able to maybe get themselves into a position where they're fighting the likes of Ivan Mulder for that net P3 spot, but are they going to have enough pace to get through these guys and then try to make a bit of headway on Rapsy and Fraser? I don't think that the tyres will last that long for them.
Well, look at the gap. It's 3.8 seconds. Rappers and Fraser can fight to their heart's content. They can help each other. This is their race to lose now. FRT and CPI are going to be in a ding-dong fight running down the straight as Raymond there has just accepted my friend request. Thank you very much. Rappers there to the inside line on Fraser. Going for the net race lead as Josh Gilly and XPG are both into the pit lane. Rappers leads the way. Fraser there in 2nd. ERS usage is big around this track and 27% for Fraser right now. Rappers, 56%. If I'm on the blower to CPI right now, I'd be like, right, you staying behind, hold up that battery, get on the same level as Rappers, then attack them, then we can get out of sight compared to everyone else. But right now, Mulder has just closed in over half a second within the space of about a sector. So Mulder now beginning to fly. Fraser and Rappers are beginning to get a little bit tactical with each other, with them not wanting to lead the race. That means Mulder, even Eskrig, Bessel, Kevins, all come into play directly.
Yeah, and now you got Josh Gilly and XBG S29 on the soft tyres now, and Josh Gilly's already in this train, so let's see what Josh Gilly can do and if he can carve his way through the field.
At least Mystic James is right about one thing. They came right in between Oku and Gabsa. So Josh Gilly is on the back of this train. And do you know what? That brings him directly into play as well. If he can manage to get through... Oh, I nearly had a snap of oversteer there. Coming through Stowe at turn number 9... Cops even at turn number 9. Josh Gilly, though, 8th position, XPG in 9th. He's dropped XPG. XPG, I'm not sure what happened with him, but he's definitely dropped them. Josh Gilly now on the back of Oku, exactly in the place where he wants to be. He's got a wall of cars between himself and a potential podium here tonight. Could it well and truly be on for him, because his tyres are not going to be the freshest towards the end of the race compared to those on the mediums.
No, absolutely not. I mean, by the end of the race, those softs are going to begin to fall away from him. But it's going to be about where he is in this train as we get to the last stages of this race. And at the current pace, Mulder is closing in on the top two. It's down to 2.1 now, James.
Yep, was 2.5, now 2.1, so another near half-second gain.
Oh,
there's Josh Gilly! Inside line, I saw that in the background there. Really, really audacious dive bomb to the inside line by the TTM man. Once again, the BRT man. As I say, BRT and TTM currently in the Legacy Division hate each other. And now Josh Gilly goes to the inside line, gets the move done surely on Oku. Beautiful move in the end. Josh Gilly through and he's into 7th. And now he's got Kevin's ahead, who hasn't looked strong, I'll be honest, on the mediums. Could get him quite easily. Then it's Vessel, even Eskrig and Mulder in the way. Josh Gilly, potentially one or two things could happen. He could work through the field, get onto the front of this train, and then that's that. Or, potentially, he could get on the end of this train and then go some to try and catch Fraser and Rapids. I think, though, with how his position is in this train, it's going to be more difficult for him to get through these guys ahead than it was against Oku.
And I just want to bring up another thing as well. A nice little shout out right here for Wessel, currently in P5. He's still got that front wing damage.
Oh, beautiful move in the end. Kevin's, in the end, had no chance to the inside line. Oku's going to filter through as well. Maybe in toward Vale and Club. Oh, the RB and the Mercedes near enough side by side coming out of the corner. It's just about Kevin's ahead, but I did literally say about 30 seconds ago Kevin's was looking weak on the mediums. Josh Gilly's just done him for an absolute kipper coming through Stowe. He's through and he's into 6th. What were you saying there, Mike? Sorry?
I was going to say, obviously, Wessel doing very well at the moment. He didn't get his front wing changed. He's still missing that end plate on his front wing. And he's still holding pretty decent right now.
He is still holding pretty decent right now. And honestly, Fraser and Rapids, 2.93 seconds clear. Gap is not closing. So this is going to be really interesting. Again, Vessel with a bit of a desync. Actually, has he lagged out? Or has he just desynced inside of the other Red Bull? Very strange. He's now out. He's now outside of ghosting, and I think it was just a lag back from him. So Vessel there in 6th. That's okay. Josh Gilly there in 5th, making his way through the field, but at what cost?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. At the moment, Josh Gilly making quick progress through this field, and he's on the back of Mulder now, as well as Ivan. You see the flashing red light ahead on Mulder's car, and see, for Josh Gilly, he's going to be closing in. It could be free wide into Stowe here, James.
Double overtake potentially for Josh Gilly? No. Gets the one, though. Gets even Eskrig, who is weak on those tyres. On that medium, on 6 lap old mediums. Josh Gilly on 2 lap old softs. Much clearer, much quicker at this stage. And Josh Gilly now beginning to reel in on the back of Mulder. Exactly what I thought might happen is happening right now. Because Josh Gilly's on the back of Mulder. He's, 2 tenths away from the back of Mulder, and he's going to lead this train at some point. What does he do, though? Does he split the pack up and then just goes for 3rd himself and maybe get onto the back of Rapids and Fraser? Or do his tyres give in toward the end, which is what I think they're going to do, and he'll hold back and then he won't end up getting the podium? That's my fear with the TTM, man. He's going, from my liking anyways, too hard too early.
I mean, the thing is, he does have to try and get through the field as quickly as possible to try to get in a position where he can get as many points as possible. Obviously, it would have been a lot more difficult if he took it slower and his tyres were wearing out at the end, because he wouldn't have been able to get through on the likes of Ivan and Kevin's and that. But he's doing well at the moment. He's in P4, he's on the back of Mulder. You expect him to get through now with DRS, and then it's going to be about how much grip is Josh Gilly going to have on those soft tyres versus Fraser and Rapids up ahead. And is that gap going to close down enough?
He should have inferior grip, to be fair. And now, this is going to be proof of the test, because it's the easiest overtake you'll see all night. Josh Gilly through. Is even Eskrig going to get through as well? The Spaniard to the outside line, near enough boxed in there. Can't find the move. Should have went to the inside line. I think he would have got the move there, actually, if he did. Even Eskrig there in 5th, Mulder there in 4th, doing a good job. There's Oku to the inside line. Kevin's very, very deep into the apex.
Honestly, this is also good for like some...
Oh, I think I might have lagged out there slightly. Sorry to cut you off again, Mike. Oku there in 7th, very much side by side with Kevin's. Kevin's there in 9th, now dropping down. Mercedes are side by side. It's the TGF man of Lewis, and I think Oku for BRT. And Kevin's there trying to get in the mix as well. Kevin's on the inside line, can't find the way through. What I was saying there before, I think I cut out on Mike's end, is even Eskrig was looking on the back of Mulder. Didn't quite make the move done. Could have went to the inside line, didn't get the move. In the end, Kevin's has ended up losing positions, of course, at Oku, absolutely diving it to the inside line, coming through our Vale and Club.
Yeah, and you're seeing S29 at the moment, side by side with Kevin's, as you see the 2 Mercedes battling out still, coming through Brooklands and Luffield.
Oh, and lovely.
S29 up in the P9 right now. He's running a bit of a charge on those soft tyres.
XPG winning that XP, quite literally there at 9th. Williams doing a fantastic job. Lewis picks up a 3-second penalty, helps their cause directly. He's on that Telesoft Compana tyre, on a lap fresher than Lewis, on 2 lap younger tyres compared to Oku. He's definitely looking good right now, the XPG man. Definitely a man to watch out for, but Look at the gap for the lead. 2.2 seconds between Fraser and Rapids is there. Again, Oku inside line of Lewis. Finn gets the job done on the Brit. There was a slight tyre mark there coming up off the canvas. But Lewis again dives it to the inside line on the back of Oku. Can't find the way through. Oku, BRC, defending like an absolute human being right now.
Yeah, Oku defending from Lewis. He's got S29 on the back as well for XPG. And he's just looking to try and take advantage of this battling up ahead of him. What I was going to say, James, contact between the Mercedes.
Lewis, I think, just gets it markedly, very slightly wrong on the back of Oku. Not sure what quite happened there. I was actually looking down at that on my iPad, to be honest. Didn't see what happened there. But the S29, the XPG man of S29 gets the job done. He's got right side end plate damage though out of that as well. So that's unfortunate. Lewis there in 8th. Oku there down in 10th. Oku's race slightly ruined by that spin from Lewis. And in the end, Lewis has got a 3-second penalty over his name that could be sent to the stewards if it's anything serious, which I think it was.
And the gap between Fraser and Josh Giddy now down to 1.5 seconds. And we're getting the DRS tactics now between CPI and Rapids here. So Josh is still closing in even on the straights where you'd expect him to drop off a little bit.
Yeah, definitely so. We have... I've just been informed by Rolling Ninja. Can we go 40 or 45? 45, just to give us a little bit of time to get from this race and then get the graphics up as well for the next race. Josh Gilly, though, now nearly enough within a second of the back of Fraser and Rapids. Who would have thought this? I definitely didn't think this would happen. Josh Gilly has definitely got the pace. But what condition are those tyres going to be in when he gets onto the back of Fraser and Rapids? He's within the DRS detection point there, on the back of Fraser and Rapids, and because both of them are going for the DRS tactics, it's brought Gilly into play, but it's also brought Mulder and even Eskrig into play. And now it all begins, pretty much like PSGL E-Series. If you've ever seen that race, pretty much like that is about to begin.
Yeah, and now we got a fantastic battle shaping up for the race win. Rapids, Fraser, Josh Giddy, and obviously just lurking in the background, you got the likes of Mulder and Ivan they're in 4th and 5th, and everyone now in the top 5 beginning to bunch up, James, and it's getting very exciting on the final 2 laps here.
Could potentially bring Vessel into play as well if it is pretty much DRS training. Could bring him directly into play, potentially for an outside chance of a podium as Rapids and Fraser still fighting it out. Now coming through Chapel, on the run now down and towards Stowe. Fraser does not want to lead this race, going on to the final lap of the race. The worst position to be in. But honestly, if you're in the box seat of the house, you'd be in Josh Gilly's position right now. He just taps the back of Fraser. Come on, get a move on, man. We don't want to go, as my TV has turned itself off. Give me a second. Oh, my controller is just over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Fraser not committing to the move there into Stowe. You saw Josh Gilly there just tapping the rear end of Fraser. And now this is going to be so interesting as we come into Village and now into the loop and entry.
Beautiful.
As we have Josh Gilly down the inside of Fraser, job done. And now Fraser's going to have to be forced to try and make this move on the Wellington Straight. And he has to get this done here, James.
He has got to get this done. TV's back on. You've got the pictures back on. Fraser to the inside line of Josh Gilly. Nearly forced him off track. Josh Gilly there, forced out wide. There was no real contact and no real malice, I've got to be honest in that. Fraser gets the move done around the outside, and he's got more ERS to play as well. Chops off the front wing nearly of Josh Gilly, running now down in towards Stowe. Could be a car crash waiting to happen if they're not careful. Josh Gilly, though, doesn't find the move on the back of Fraser. Fraser now under pressure from Gilly. Mulder into play here as well for the Alpine. Rapids there low leads the way. Is there to be shot at with Fraser having double the amount of ERS pretty much at this point. Here comes the CPI man looking to try and reclaim that P1 again, and he does, running down in towards Stowe. Easy as you like. Fraser retakes the race lead on the final lap of the race. Rapids there in second. Josh Gilly's tyres are going though, and Mulder now on the outside line tries to find the move in the Alpine, going all the way around the outside through Valen Club, forced off track there slightly by Josh Gilly. Mulder there down into 5th. Fraser to the line, wins a great race between him and Rapids. In the end, Fraser got it right with the tactics, gets it right again. CPI on top. Fraser there in Rapids there in second for FRT. Josh Gilly in third for T. I might be back. I hope I'm back. Mike can't hear me, I don't think. So give me a second. We are back though on OBS. Apologies about that. I don't know what happened there. OBS just decided to disconnect me off. But I will try, at least, to get back in and hear Mr. Michael Edwards, who should be back alongside me now.
Yes. Fantastic. I can hear you now. Happy days.
Oh, that was all on my end. OBS just decided to die on me. At least it was at the end of the race, though, and it wasn't on the final lap. That's a good thing, at least. But everything seems smooth now. That was not the same problem as I had last week. That was actually my laptop losing connection on Wi-Fi and then coming back on magically, and then we're back here. But what I was saying just before we ended up there was Fraser got it right with the tactics, got it right in the end, took the race win. Rapper's there in second. In the end, it was a bit of CPI against FRT, but it's the battles that we love to see here in the Challenge Cup.
Yeah, absolutely, and you saw the tactical play that was going on between Fraser and Rappies towards the end of that race, and Josh Giddy getting involved almost spoiled the party for Fraser. You could see what Fraser wanted to do, but Josh Giddy posed a serious threat on that final lap to Fraser, and he was just about able to make sure he could get himself back in position to take advantage on that final DRS straight.
Yep, and that's what it came down to. That final DRS straight, so easy to try and go down the inside line. And then in the end, got the move done. And Fraser got that move done just because he was just, I think, tactically better on the day there than Rapids. They played games. Fraser did not want to lead that race. That's what I called on the penultimate lap of the race. And in the end, the FRT man was thinking, oh, why we ended up in this position? We're going to lose this race, obviously. And they did. And in the end, it could have easily let Mulder and the lights into play. And yeah, it was a strange one, but a very good race nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely, and a massive congratulations to the CPA team with Fraser out on top, and hopefully it'll be a very quick turnaround into the second race of the evening, James.
I hope it will be. But I can't currently get out this lobby that we're in. Oh my word. Tell you what, we'll do a close application and then restart it again. Everything doesn't work right. Doesn't work right. But I have got an invite from Ramon. I'm gonna invite you in very soon indeed. So that at least has come through. Yeah, very strange on my end. But what we're gonna do, just while we try and gather ourselves after that first race, is take a very brief intermission break. Coming into race 2, we're gonna be back with you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back, everyone, to the EML Challenge Cup. We are here for Season 7. It's round 2 of the championship. This was the state of play coming into tonight. After that first race, CPI now do have an extended lead over FRT coming into race number 2. CPI on 34 points. Coming into tonight, Peck in second on 33, FRT in third on 32, then Team TF10 in fourth on 27, Avisio in fifth on 19, Alien in sixth on 17, Grand Track 10 in seventh on 17, TTM in 8th on 15, VMV in 9th on 15, and then Bunker Racing Team in 10th on 12 points. And the rest of the graphics we have False Group Esports there in 11th on 10, QSL Esports in 12th on 9, and then Evolution Esports in 13th on 8, FRC in 14th on 7th, Sierra Esports in 15th on 5th. Luckily, they've woken up with Nissan coming into the session. Deluxe Esports there in 16th on 3, EOS in 17th on 2, and then it's Team GeForce and Xbox Pro Gamers, who haven't got any points, but after that race they do now, because Lewis and the XPG man of STV also did pick up points, so that graphic is now non-existent, and we've also got a vacant team there down in 20th position. This is who we've got hopefully racing. If there's not been any late changes, that would be brilliant. Race 2, for TTM, we've got Nick and Evie Matthias in the Red Bulls. For TGF, we've got Tropic. For BRT, we've got Crowding in the Mercedes. Very interesting to see him here. Francesco Largo in for CPI, along with SLR Medal for FGE. Danny Urza and QSL Gabsa. That is wrong. I forgot to change that. It's not QSL Gabsa. It is the QSL Manavico, I think, if I'm not mistaken, for QSL in this. Toralba for Peck alongside Set Nissan, who we saw, of course, last week. Quartz in for GT10 alongside AMS Ramon, who's our lobby host. Neon Lolpol in for the XPG guys, along with Ite Agonize for FRT. Interesting to see him here. Rayen in for Team TF10 alongside Mafio for EVR. Then for ERS, it is Steinen Julian, I hope I pronounced that right, for ERS Esports. And then for the final two, VR1 have got Dima, and then VMV have got Indian right down at the bottom end. But we're about to get going in towards one shot qualifying. I'm going to commentate you through this once again. The mechanics, by the way, are very enthusiastic on the right-hand side. As you can tell, just sitting about, lazing about, doing absolutely nothing, as I'm sure what you guys are doing at home right now, just sitting back, relaxing, and enjoying, hopefully, what is going to be one wild and wacky ride once again for the one short qualifying session here tonight. Let's run on board, though, with not Indian, no disrespect to the VMV boys. Let's run on board with BRT Crowding. Down in towards turn number 1, the Brit at his home track once again. Let's see what BRT can do and the Xbox man can do. In towards the right-hander now, turn number 3 at Village. In towards then the left-hander, turn number 4 at the Loop. Already up there with Rayen, already up there with Quartz. Nick also up there as well. Again, some of the guys that we expect to be up there, all up there in the early stages of this. Neon Lolpol getting up there for XPG as well. First sector split from Nick, looking quite good, and also from Crowding, looking quite good as well. Really rotating the car in very, very on the edge setup for Crowding. You can definitely tell that because it just snaps out the rear end through the right-hander and turn number 8 at Woodcut. Now coming through turn number 9, down in towards Stowe. We will sit down in towards Pops even at turn number 9. Crowding really on the ragged edge, I've got to say, in terms of his setup. Nick, Rayen, Francesco looking pretty good. All the main teams that we expect to be up there are up there early on, as Nissan and Stan and Julian have retired from the session. Stan and Julian there, still going there down in 16th, Indian there in 17th, Crowding 102.8 in that middle sector, slightly quicker than Josh Gilly, who we rolled on board with, of course, in Lobby 1. Now coming through the right-hander of Stowe at turn 15, then in towards Bale Club, and down the Saluso Amstel straight for the final time. Nick, Francesco, Rayen, Mathis, Crowding all up there. Who's going to come out on top of them in the session? It looks like it's a TTM and a Nick. Nick on the run to line, gets ahead, 3,000th of a second in the end, and I think I saw 12,000th of a second between the top 3. Really close indeed. Crowding there, qualifying in 5th. But Mike, out on top, Nick from, in fact, no, it's Rayen now on my end. What? It's Rayen now. 3,000th of a second. It appeared as Nick first. Rayen now out on top. Nick there in second. Apparently they're both Algerian as well. I think that's wrong. Francesco there in third, 1200th of a second. Mathis in fourth. Crowding fifth. Agonize sixth. Quartz in seventh. Then Taralba in eighth. Tropic in ninth. Lolpol, who was up there, down in P10. Medal in 11th with Mafio, Ramon, Velko, and then Steinen. And then Nissan, Dima, and Indian are getting invalid lap times or not getting a lap time in on the boards. 12 hundredths of a second covering the top three with drivers that we expect to be up there. This is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, and of course, the second race last time out in Bahrain was an absolute treat to watch. So I'm wondering if the second race this time out here in Silverstone is going to be equally as good as it was in week number 1. And of course, it's got a lot to live up to after that first race. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting, James. Very close at the front between the top 3 as well.
Mafio, by the way, for EVR, saying in the Discord that he went from P6 to P12 in the last 3 corners and lost 3/10 of a second flying on the sausage curb. And that's exactly what I think Crowding did as well. Not lost 3/10 of a second, albeit, but lost time coming through the latter part of the lap, especially with that ragged edge setup that he did have. Very good lap time, though. Obviously, from the top 3, 1200ths of a second covering the top 3. Rayen, the one out on top. Brienne is a man that's won around here in the past, if I'm not mistaken, in his league racing days. And he'll be hoping for Team TF10 that they can do just that here tonight.
Yep, and we are going to see how TF10 are going to get on in this race. I mean, I still can't believe how close that qualifying was, James. I can't believe it. Again, it's looking a little, there's a little cloud cover up in the sky, but again, it's a similar situation to what we had in the first lobby, where it appears that it's going to be, blue skies to start with, just a little bit of cloud cover. But will that transpire into any overcast or wet weather conditions? That is one big question that we're going to find out.
Yeah, definitely one big question that we're going to find out. Indeed, again, the mechanics on the, or the marshals even on the right-hand side, looking very, very enthusiastic. I've got to be honest. Demizzi, gotta love James's OBS, it's still cooked. Mike is cutting out a lot. That might be because we had a restart. So, apologies. I'll just fix it now. No, what's happened here? Oh, there we go. My mic's coming back in. We're fine. Hopefully Mike can hear me as well. I haven't got Discord open to check. I've just heard him laugh in the background, so he's definitely here still. And hopefully that fixes any issues with the mic. So apologies about that. But, Mike, speaking of Mike, coming to you, who do you think is going to win this race?
Oof. Honestly, it's, I think Rayen has got a good chance of winning this race, actually. I think I'm going to go Rayen to win.
Rayen to win. Interesting. I am going to upset the apple cart and go... Who qualified in 3rd again? Whoever's in 3rd. Who I forgot off qualifying, even though it just happened like 2 minutes ago. Yeah, I think they are going to win. Whoever was 1200ths behind. It wasn't Nick and it wasn't Rayen. I know that. 5 red lights are about to go out. You'll better find out a prediction as we go on the fly. Here for race number 2 in Britain. It is lights out and away we go. And there we go. We kick in with the graphics. Very strange indeed. Francesco Largo is the one that's on the back. In toward the right-hander now, turn number 2. Looks like there's a yellow flag, I think, from Stan and Indian right down the bottom end of the field. But Rayen leads through the left-hander turn number 3. Now to the left-hander turn number 4. Nick there in 2nd. Mathis there in 3rd. Francesco Largo there in 4th. Francesco in 3rd. Crowding there in 4th. Aguilar's there in 5th. There's carnage further down the field. Terralba has ended up spinning. And that's a VSE because he's been caught up in an instant with Quartz, if I'm not mistaken. The Alpine all the way down now at the back of the field. Graphics just fixing themselves on the fly. Stannon's there in 15th. We had a bit of a glitch there with Indian there down in 12th as well. Rayen though leads the way. Nick there in 2nd, Francesco in 3rd. VSC, which wasn't in race 1, is now out in race 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think obviously the glitch with the graphics happening. Julian, I think, lagged out the session and obviously just rejoined us. The 5 red lights were getting underway, so I think that's why we had a bit of a glitch on the graphics side of things. But he's back in the car. He has a 10-second time penalty though for ignoring yellow flags. Does Julian?
Yeah, and that's a shame. Obviously, he was in AI. I think he's now running. I can see him actually. He's running. Yeah, fine at the minute. Whether or not he has FPS drops or anything, though, is a different thing for him down in 15th position. Rihanna leading the way, Nick in 2nd, Francesco there in 3rd. It was DLX, by the way, that were missing from this race. FG are in with medal. They're down in 10th position, so it was DLX, the guys that were missing there after their shocker in race 1, where they didn't even get off the line. Danny Urza off the line there. And now, once again, missing going into Q2, as Taraba's got a 10-second penalty for collision with Dima coming into the pit lane. So that is him now down the field. But DRS is now back and able to get back underway. And already, Rayen is under attack from Nick.
Yeah, and you got Francesco Lago in behind as well, looking for an opportunity. Crowding on the set of the mediums, the lead medium runner, as Julian's out the race and he's
FPS
in the pits. Yep.
Frame rate dropping. Gotta be frame rate dropping there. Nick looks the inside on and Francesco doesn't quite go for the move for the race lead. Neon Lolpol on the back of Mathis. Neon, of course, who we've seen as part of the XPG lineup, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in Legacy Division in qualifiers. He's now on the back of Mathis, right on the back of Agonize as well, keeping up with good pace, I've got to say, in the early stages of this race. Stunning there has rejoined the session. Obviously, DNFing out of the race. It's taken out of his zone, really, and out of his control, where he can't rejoin a session. He lags out, can't rejoin a session. And it's exactly what we had, of course, here in EML in season number 7, where we had a disconnect early on. We had that restart, then somebody disconnected again, and then we didn't restart, and then there was all that issue with Paul, of course, for ETA. But Nick, the one leading the way, Rayen in second, Francesco Largo in third, and in the end, everything is just nice and quiet for now.
Yep, for the time being, Crowding and Agonize, so 4th and 5th on the set of the medium tyres, doing very well to keep with the top 3 for the time being. And we saw in the first race, James, around about, I want to say it was lap 6 now, we started to see the switch over and the mediums became the quicker tyre. So if Crowding and Agonize can stay with these guys up ahead, until that point, their tyres will become the better tyres to be on.
Yeah, Crowding, of course, and Agonize part of BRT and FRT as well, and they'll be definitely working together. They're both in the mediums, and I know BRT and FRT have had a few incidents in the past, not only here in EML, but also, of course, in Legacy Division and in other team events as well. Crowding and Agonize, though, are very good when they get together and when they battle. So I'm expecting a really big fight here from them both. Hopefully nothing too over the edge, but Mathis right on the back of Agonize, who had a really bad run. Coming off Luffield, now down in towards Cops at turn number 9. Mathis is all over the back of him for EVE. Red Bull against the Williams. That Red Bull's definitely looking quicker than the Williams right now. And the FRT, man, looking to try and bank on Rapids' P2 provisionally in race 1. Looking to try and get this now in race 2. Francesco Largo, though, has other ideas. On the back of Rayen. Rayen on the back of Nick. Nobody, though, wants to go for the race lead early on. It was an absolute foregone conclusion in race 1. Everyone just wanted to overtake.
Yeah, Nick, Rayen and Francesco Lago just sizing each other up at the moment, just trying to put each other a little bit off into each corner. And you're seeing there, Rayen just getting a little bit out of shape on the exit of Club. That's allowing Francesco Lago to close right up. But no move's going to happen. Maybe down in towards turn number 3 at Village. Rayen, no, he's not going to go for it. And Nick's going to hold on to the race lead for the time being.
I thought Francesco was going to look for a lunge there to the inside on Rayen. I was on board with him and thinking, go on, go for it, you cheeky so-and-so. He's on the back of Rayen, running now down in towards Brooklands and Luffield. But in the end, still can't find the move. Indian, by the way, has made up really good ground early on. Obviously, had that bit of a desync early on. We thought he was down in 18th position, or at least on my end he was. Indian there is in 9th position. He was 13th, I think, at the start of this race, so he has made up very good ground early on. 9 positions gained, from 18th on the grid up to 9th. VMV are definitely cooking up something special here. It's just whether or not he can hold on to the back of Mafio, the EVR man, ahead.
Yeah, and again, he's floating around the edge of that 1 second window. He definitely needs to stay in a second of Mafio, and right now, his tyres should be enough just about to hold him in there as we go. Rayen now looking to the inside.
Oh, Francesco!
Free wide of Francesco Lego.
Inside line! Cuts the eye of the needle to the inside line. Rayen falls off track, and now Nick tries to bide his time in the end, coming in toward the left-hander there of turn 16. Francesco Largo, though, take your hat off. Rode on ball with him at the wrong time because the camera didn't even catch him passing them both. Francesco in the end, though, gets the race lead. Rayen there in second, Nick there in third. What a move that is from Francesco. As I say, threading the other needle almost to the inside line. got the job done. Now ahead of Rayen. Rayen down in P2. CPI are here to play in Challenge Cup.
Absolutely, Francesco Lago, they're getting through up into the race lead. And what we got right now for the race lead, James, is your pick versus my pick for the race win. You must know something.
Lolpool to the inside line, sorry to cut you off, gets the move done, forces Mathis out wide there slightly, has a bit of a snap, but the XPG man hangs on from the EVE man, so he's now ahead, he's up into 6th position, Mathis there in 7th. Yeah, your pick against my pick. Francesco, though, to be fair, is in the worst position right now. He's there in the lead of the race, does not want to be there, he will forfeit positions, I'm sure, to get either Rayen, Nick, doing the donkey work, or potentially they could let in BRT Crowding and 4th Agonized Neon Nolpool on the mediums, and they're beginning to pull away from Mathis and Mafio respectively. Rayen now going for the race lead on the back of the outside line of Francesco in toward the right hander, 10:15 at Cops. Stowe even, job done. Bit of a lag spike, I think, there from Rayen, but gets the job done. Agonized, hopefully no agony in toward the left hander at 16. Natural's got all the way around the outside at 17. Now in towards Club Corner, and there's a bit of contact between them both. Nothing too much. Crowding there remains in front.
Yeah, and that's the first little bit of battling we're seeing from Crowding and Agonized. And at this stage as well, this is where the mediums are going to start to come into play for the pair of them. And now they're starting to jockey to be the lead medium runner.
They are definitely want to be that lead medium runner, but it's whether or not, at this moment in time, Crowding is looking quicker than the softs. And I'll be honest, compared to the first race, he's not really looking on the back of Nick, Francesco and Rayen. Maybe just out of abundance of caution, maybe to see what's going to happen ahead of him. But he's there on 68% of ERS. Nick's on 87, Francesco on 90, Rayen on 92. Whatever Crowding does, the front three are going to respond. So it's almost as if you can do one, I can do better sort of thing.
I mean, you've seen in the corners now, Crowding is starting to close in, so the medium types are definitely coming into play here. Obviously, as you mentioned, Crowding has used a bit more ERS compared to the guys at the front, but I think he's been more concerned about the guys in behind and maybe using a bit too much ERS to defend from Agonized, rather than looking long game as Francesco Lago and Nick get through on Rayen and Francesco Lago up into the race lead. Will we see anyone dive into the pits early? No.
Mafia will look into the outside line of Mathis. Indian, though, was into the pit lane in behind, I think, for VMB. I'll be in Red Bull, getting forced off track. Put it this way, Helmut Marko will not be happy with that battle for for the RB even, and the Red Bull. Mathis and Mafio, 7th and 8th position, the two M's going at it. Helmut Marko, there's another M in there as well. Mafio and Mathis, though, 7th and 8th position. Looking to try and get the move done. Can't find the way through just yet, as Francesco leads the way still from Nick in 2nd. Rayen there in 3rd. Rayen's got the box seat in the house right now. But Indian into the pit lane. Medium compound tyres on the car. Miles ahead of Taralba and Dime, who have already came in the pit lane after their first lap, their lap 3 instant to come in the pit lane, obviously with their VSC. Indian, though, was in absolute country miles of air. Pit lane loss around this track, I always say it's about 30 seconds. 29.7, I think it's slightly less on this game. So Indian, relatively speaking, is going to be coming out in and around these guys once they pit in. As that silence from Mike is deafening. Now Francesco on the back of Nick. Rayen there on the back of Nick as well. And Rayen now looks the back of Nick running down the straight once again. In toward the right-hander of turn number 15. And Nick gets the move done on Francesco. Thuni's into the race lead. Rayen, though, looking to try and hook back. Now the pit stops are coming. Nick and Rayen both into the pit lane. Francesco continues on. And Rayen nearly went into the back of Nick there.
Yeah, and you saw the way Rayen was placing his car there. He actually made it so Francesco Lago could not go into the pit lane, and he's kept him out for another lap. So the undercut now is going to come into effect for Rayen and Nick here, and I'm very interested to see where Indian's going to come out relative to these guys that are just pitted.
Indian's going to be nowhere near these guys coming out of the pit lane. He's going to be more, I think, side by side with Velko coming out the pit lane for QSL. Velko's at the end of the pit lane now. Beautiful end of the camera, end of the pit lane camera there. And Indian is ahead of Velko by country mile in the end. About 1.5 seconds coming out the pit lane. Indian there in 13th, Belco there in 14th. Francesco leads the way, Crowding there in 2nd, Agonize there in 3rd. The potential for the guys to come in early from a medium onto a set of softs is there. Does Crowding, Agonize, Lawpole all follow Francesco Largo into the pit lane? Mathis is definitely coming in because he's losing time. Francesco, I think if BRT, FRT, and XPG have a chance in this race, they all follow Francesco in, try and get those softs to the end.
Yeah, I just don't think the softs are going to have that grip. And as you see, Crowding getting through on Francesco Largo now, up into the race scene, and there we go, the CPI man into the pit lane.
That answers my question. Maffio, though, is into the pit lane. So that's why I thought maybe EVR have said, you know what, listen to that guy in the commentary box for once. He's into the pit lane, Maffio. Mathis is also in. They were both fighting pretty aggressively coming in the pit lane as well. Maffio was in, as is Francesco Largo, as is Mathis. Has Francesco just been held up in the pit lane there slightly? I think he might have done. Be interesting to see. Ryan and Nick are coming through the final quarter. They'll come into camera shot right about now. There is Francesco Largo. I think he's just going to get out maybe side by side with these guys. Francesco and Ryan is behind. Ryan and Nick ahead. Francesco Largo behind by about a second. He definitely got held up in the pit lane. Very minimally, but he got held up.
Yeah, this is not good for Francesco Largo. He's going to need Nick and Ryan just to battle a little bit up ahead just so he can get back within DRS range, or maybe he's got to use a bit of deployment. He's on less than 10%, Francesco Largo. He's not got much to use. He needs these guys to battle up in front.
He needs his guys to battle up in front, but he's also got the fresh tyres, which will, I think, carry him into this battle directly in this race. Ryan on the back of Nick. Nick now ahead of Ryan. Are we going to see potential tactics again between TTM and TF10 to try and fend off the attention to Francesco? If I was these guys, I'd work together for the sake of it, honestly. Nick and Ryan have got Francesco Largo in the back pocket. They can think, right, he's got very limited ERS. Engineers are doing a fantastic job. Ryan and Nick, if I'm them, I'm working together with the guy in front of me to try and drag out this gap. Because, look at the gap, 1.3. This will be 1.7 by the end of the straight. Francesco has not got any chance in terms of that battery, and that gap is only going to extend out. This is between Ryan and Nick now for the race lead, and unfortunately, I'm not Mystic James, it seems.
No, but potentially I could be Mystic Mike, which
that
has a nice little ring to it.
That has a better ring to it, I'll be fair.
Well, we will see. Like, you know, I mean, anything can still happen. One battle between Nick and Ryan that could bring Francesco Largo back into it.
And we saw, between Fraser and Rapids, what happened with their battle late on in race 1, where it was, what, 2.5 seconds? 2.7, I think we had it at once. And that gap just came consistently coming down, and that's because they didn't want to fight on the final few laps. And that was for at least the final 5 laps of the race that they were doing that. And in the end, Francesco, 1.4 seconds. Battery usage is coming up slightly, but he is draining his battery more than he's gaining it back. And that's the big concern for the CPR man there in a current net 3rd position. Agonize and Crowding, by the way, job done for them down the straight. Agonize now ahead of Crowding. Ramon and Nissan also ahead of Medal. And Medal there, not currently getting a medal there in 5th position, but looking to try and counteract anything that might happen ahead. Any potential VSCs are technical to come in this race as Ryan breezes past Nick down in the straight, down in towards turn number 15. Job done for Ryan, currently in the net race lead. Crowding though continues on, probably for the set of softs. Everyone else is in though for a set of softs.
Yeah, and this is going to be interesting now. Where all these guys feed out to relative to Maffio and Francesco Largo. Now, I think they'll probably come out behind Lowpole. Maybe just in between that gap between Lowpole and Indian here. But let's see.
Let's see indeed. Where is Agonize? He's side by side with Maffio with Lowpole. You're completely right. To the inside line now through turn number 3. Nearly forced out wide. And in the end, Agonize just does not have those tyres up to temperature just yet. But now he does. Coming through the left-hander of Aintree. Now running down in towards Brooklands and Luffield. It's job done for Agonize. Maffio's just let them go. Lowpole there into 6th. Maffio there in 7th. Great move in the end from Agonize. He got those tyres literally switched on like that. Job done for the FRT man. Throonies into 5th. And do you know what? He can catch on the back of Francesco. Knows Francesco's weakness in terms of ERS. This could get quite tactical, but it could also benefit Ryan and Nick again.
So, I mean, here's the thing. But if I'm Francesco Lago right now, I'm thinking, okay, what is my best way of getting back into this battle for the race lead? I am not going to make things difficult for Agonize. I'm going to try to use Agonize to drag me back within that DRS string with the top two. I can save up my ERS in behind Agonize as well to get back on a nice manageable amount. That's what I'm going to do right now if I'm Francesco Lago.
Yeah, and honestly, if I'm Francesco Lago, I'd be actually I would actually let these guys through. I'll be honest. Agonized, Lolpol, Mafio are on the better tyres. They have caught up to Francesco if he's not even there, as if he's standing still. Which he isn't. He's going at 183 mile an hour coming in towards turn number 1. Agonized on the back along with Lolpol, Mafio. They can work together, but it could also get tactical between them three out on track, and that means Francesco Lago's still in a bit of no man's land, and again it benefits the front two of Ryan and Nick. And Nick and Ryan are 1.9 seconds clear. Again, working very well together. 2 seconds now, 2.1 I think coming down in towards Brooklands. But Ryan and Nick working well together. Seemingly, TF10 and TTM wanting to work together for now. Maybe in 3 or 4 laps time it might be different.
Yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword on this strategy with obviously Francesco Lago of what he can do in this race. Obviously, as you mentioned, Nick and Ryan working well together up at the front at the moment, trying to keep it between them two and them two only. And their biggest threats right now are those guys on the soft tyres in Agonize, Lowpole, and Mafio, and of course Crowdin now on the back of them as well. And Crowdin with the freshest of the soft tyres. Probably could be looking at the best towards the end of the race as Agonize gets through with DRS down the inside in towards Stowe. Job done for Agonize up in the P3.
Yep, really nicely done from Agonize. And now, does he begin to pull away from Francesco? That's going to be the biggest factor now in this race. Does Agonize pull away from Francesco? Does Francesco try and stick with? Fastest lap of the race set there by Agonize. Now he's in clear air. Francesco's running dirty air along with Lolpol, Mafio, Crowding, all running dirty air in behind. It's up to Agonize now to bring these guys back into contention. Whether FRT and CPI, though, or any other team for that matter in behind want to work together is a different thing. I think he can do this on sufferance. Look at the gap, it's 1.2 seconds as Nissan is off coming through turn number 3, and Nissan, unfortunately, not looking like a GTR, more like a drift car coming through there at turn number 3. But he's there down in 14th position, the Sierra Esports man looking to try and get back going once again. Ryan, Nick, Agonize in the top 3. Agonize has done this by himself, he's within DRS range.
Yeah, Agonize, we're in DRS range, and that's going to allow Francesco Lago now to try and save a bit of battery, but he had to use a bit just to try and stay with Agonize on the exit of left field because Lowpole was all over the back of him, and he's back down to exactly where he started, just above 10%.
And Lowpole is on the back of Francesco. Is he going to look for the move down the straight? Nick is certainly going to look for the move on the back of Ryan. But I just get the sense it's beginning to get maybe a little bit tactical. They're thinking maybe, right, let's stop battling. Everyone's now on the back of this train. Let's try and concertina everyone up. That is what I think the plan is here from those guys in the medium to try and fend off Agonize. Agonize is already nearly shot off into the distance. Ahead of Francesco, nearly a second clear there. 0.8 of a second it was. Agonize is on the back of Ryan and Nick. This race is only going one way right now, and that's Agonize. It's whether or not his tyres can last the distance, which they should, but compared to the tyres at the end for the mediums, they're going to be around the same level, so Agonize has just got to be careful.
Crowdin now side by side with Lowpole coming through on 3, and they're still side by side, but yeah, Crowdin
and
just about gets through. Mafio now, yeah, side by side with Lowpole as they come through Brooklands in left field. Lowpole on the inside line, Mafio trying to hold it around the outside. Unable to do it, a big snap at the rear for Mafio, and he's going to have to settle down for P7, but Crowdin now starting to come into play, James.
Crowdin is coming into play as well, and to be fair, Francesco Lago's coming back into play all of a sudden as well with how this tactics is going to unfold out in front. Nick leading the way, Ryan in second, Agonize in third, Francesco in fourth, Crowdin fifth, Lowpole in sixth. To be honest, and I'll be brutally honest, these were the 6 that I was expecting to be fighting out for the race win. And they are at this moment in time as Ryan looks to the back of Nick. Look at Agonize to the inside line. Doesn't go for the move. Ryan, half-hearted looking on the back of Nick. And I'll be honest, he's now beginning to play it tactical. Is the French Algerian. Doesn't get the move done on the back of Nick and stays in behind. So Ryan full amount of battery, by the way, Mike. Nick on 67%, Agonize on 56%. If you're Rayen, you're thinking, is this coming down to 2.0?
I mean, again, also looking at Francesco Lago's ERS now, he's managed to save up a decent amount now in this train. And he's back up to a healthy amount.
Inside line!
Agonized! Oh, brilliant from Rayen, but Agonized is still there on the inside line. And it's going to be a drag race. And look at this, Nick giving the slipstream to Agonized.
Go for the inside line, man, Agonize. What are you thinking of? The inside line should have got the move done on Nick. And in the end, Rayen has to force out in behind. They've handled that much better than what I would have done. But Agonize tries to get the switch back. Coming out now through Lovefield. On the run now down towards Cops at turn number 9. Rayen now all of a sudden fighting back in this. This race is absolutely kicking into overdrive here. Nick leading the way. Agonize in second. Rayen in third. And I will be honest here, Mike. My prediction is still on here. Because Francesco all of a sudden is looking like the best seat in the house in fourth.
My prediction is still ahead of yours. So we're gonna say that.
You never know though. Crowding, to be fair, is low on ERS, and now it's 3 wide down the straight. Rayen inside line of Agonize. Agonize gets the move done. Nick, it's not Nick's move now. Down into P3, maybe even P2 though. Goes to the inside line, coming through Vale and Club. Crowding, audacious move to the inside line. Always going to get cut off at the pass there by Nick. TTM and BRT, no love lost between them. Agonize leads the way. Rayen in second, Nick in third. Agonize now can shoot off in the distance if he's got the tyres and if he's got the strength. But if he doesn't, Rayen, Nick, Crowding, Francesco, Lolpol, Mafia were all chomping at the bit. Agonize has got to be very careful with what he does here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got Crowding now over the back, and Nick cannot afford to let Crowding get through because Crowding's got the best chance again. These tyres. Oh, down the inside goes Crowding. And
lovely.
Nick is still there though. He's holding it now on the inside.
Oh, contact. Contact in the end, and I think that was because of an outer line and an inner line just joining each other at the middle of the corner. Crowding and Nick there third and fourth. I don't think anybody did anything wrong there, to be honest. Crowding just very unfortunate to come off the bottom end of that there with Francesco in fifth. Nick there now in third. Agonize still cannot get away out in front. And this is going to be agony again for FRT because they're in exactly the same spot as what they were in race 1, albeit with a TF10 driver now in behind compared to a CPI man. And speaking of CPI, there goes Francesco Largo around the outside of Crowding in towards Stowe at 10:15. Tries to get the move done all the way around the outside. Now for the inner, coming in towards Valen Club. Very late on the brakes, the McLaren. Tries to find the move, but in the end, the Brit comes out on top. Crowding there, saying, you know what, can't find the way through, Francesco. You have to stick him behind for me for now, but he's still right underneath that re-ring in towards turn 1.
Yeah, Francesco Lago definitely trying to get his way through any way, shape, or form right now.
Oh, beautiful. Oh! How on earth has he not pulled that off? That was an absolute cast-iron guarantee move. And Crowding's still there. Now Francesco goes for the move on the outside line, running down in towards Brooklands. All the way around the outside. Mediums might be slightly fresher at this point than the softs, but in the end, Crowding's having absolutely none of it. And to pardon the pun, he's crowding Francesco out.
Francesco trying absolutely everything to get through on Crowding there, and Crowding just... great car placement to defend all the time from Francesco Lago as we got yellow flags. I believe that's for Quartz down there in 17th place. But as you mentioned, it does seem like the mediums are starting to begin to come back, and Agonize is now going to be under big pressure because here comes Rayen.
He doesn't want to go for the move though. Rayen does not want this move down for the race lead. He's just going to stick and wait in behind, like what we saw in the final lap of the race. But Agonize and Nick, actually, Rayen nearly gets forced out of there, and now it's 3 wide. Down in toward the left-hand of Vale at 16. Now through Club, in towards turn 18. It's getting dicey. Agonize leads the way. Rayen around the outside of Nick, now into second. Nick there in third. Crowding all of a sudden in this. Francesco Largo involved in this. Lolpol involved in this. Nick's just being done around the outside by Rayen and Abbey. Beautiful move by Rayen. Gets the move done. Crowding and Nick are still side by side. Final lap of the race begins. Agonize leads the way. Rayen in second. Crowding there in third. Nick there to be shot at. Losing positions. Hand over fist as now Francesco looks to the inside line. Lolpol and Mafio, we can probably forget them in this battle at this moment in time. Agonize leads in towards Brooklands for the final time. Rayen in second. Crowding there in third. Francesco gets the move done on Nick. Can't find the way through the TTM man. Francesco back through and he's into fourth. Still in play in this battle. Agonize tries to steal away from the front. 6/10 of a second. Running there down in towards Cops for the final time. Rayen in second, though, is in the best seat in the house. Crowding is in there in the best seat in the house. Francesco Largo, in fact, is there in the best seat in the house. In fourth. It's whether or not, though, Agonize can get a phenomenal run coming out of Chapel and give the better off run compared to Rayen. Rayen is slightly wide, gets caught on the curb. This could be Agonize's chance to get away. Agonize has got the ERS to burn. Rayen's got the speed, though. Looks towards the inside line. Audacious move to the inside line in the end. Can't find the way through. Credit and Francesco kicking off in behind as well. Nick trying to get involved for TTM. 3 wide of the going towards Valen Club. Ever going to end well. And there goes Lolpol through into third. Agonize takes the race win. Rayen there in second. Lolpol in third. Mafio in fourth. Mathis in the end in fifth. Indian in sixth. And Francesco, Nick, and Crowding have all got caught in each other and have ended up 9th, 10th, and 11th out of that. 3 wide, 2 wide in towards the final couple of corners. Never really commits. 3 wide, though. Pure suicide.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we just saw there, James, is where desperation to try and make up a last-minute move coming in into that final chicane, and it just never works in that corner. 3 wide does not go into that corner, and all 3 of them paying the price of it down in 9th, 10th, and 11th.
And unfortunately for them, they do pick up points, but it's not the points that they would have expected. Everyone's going to blame who did what to who. CPI will blame TTM, TTM will blame CPI, BRT will be the middleman and try and blame the both of them, and it's going to end up pretty much going in circles, I think, that argument and that battle. But in the end, Rayen comes out in second, and it's Agonize, who just had enough. It was that clip of the curb from Rayen that lost him about half a tenth of a second. Half a tenth doesn't seem like much, but in a battle with one of the finest drivers on console, in Agonized, in front, you do not want to forfeit that half a tenth of a second, because in the end, it's agony for Rayen, it's brilliance from Agonize for FRT.
Yep, and Agonize throwing absolute agony to both our predictions at the start of this race. But he does pick up the win.
Yeah, at least Francesco wasn't involved in the battle, unlike Rayen, who was second. It's definitely gutting more for Michael Combs alongside me here tonight. That is for sure. The podium celebrations fly. Hopefully we can get the grid graphic. There we are. We can. Agonize is out on top from Rayen in second. Lolpol there in third. Mafio in fourth. Williams RB. Williams RB. Who would have thought that? Mathis there in fifth. Indian there in sixth. Medal there in seventh. Ramon there in eighth. All got very lucky with that 3 wide incident with Francesco, Nick, and Crowding. Francesco the one coming out on top there in ninth. Nick in 10th. Crowding 11th, Tropic in 12th, Velco in 13th for QSL, Nissan 14th with Dima in 15th, picking up the final point, Teralba in 16th, and Quartz in 17th, passes that point as well, the 17th, and then Starnen, who had those issues early on, DNFing out of the race. But Agonize takes the race win. Rayen in second. I can't wait for that to go again, potentially around here in 2 days' time in WR Console Tier 1.
Well, I mean, you will definitely be enjoying that in WLR, and I thoroughly enjoyed this race here tonight, and looking forward to the next race next week, James.
I'm definitely looking forward to next week as well. I am just going to change one graphic. Hang on, give me a second. I need to find the calendar graphic for EML, the Challenge Cup. Give me a second. There it is. And, oh, that's not the size that I wanted at. Give me a second. I will transition this back. There we go. That was a bit of a half-hearted attempt, but round 2 is done. Silverstone now done, and then next week we go to Austria, which kicked off our EML Season 7 season. For round 3 of the championship, races 5 and 6 of the Challenge Cup. Singapore and Brazil to come after that. Austria next week, I think, is going to be very much more dicey than Britain.
Yeah, absolutely. The DRS trains around Austria, they are a lot more apparent. We definitely seen in the past at Austria a lot more riskier dive bombs being made, especially up the hill in towards turn number 3 and down in towards turn number 4. Key points of overtaking those two corners are, and we've seen some good side by side action as well in that middle sector. So it could go either way. It could be dive bomb central, or we could get some fantastic side by side action for that middle sector. Who knows? Only one way to find out, and that's tune in next week.
Yep, tune in next week. Indeed, of course, if you missed our announcement at the start of the broadcast, that's the wrong graphic. Eventually, we'll get there. That is EML season number 8. We start, of course, with qualifiers on January the 8th, and then we begin round 1 of the season in Bahrain. Round 1 of the season. Who would have thought that? And honestly, look at the calendar. It's pretty much mirroring sort of real life, if you think about it. Bahrain, round 1 of the championship. Then we go down under for round 2 in Australia. Round 3 for China. Round 4 with Britain. We're back here on February the 12th. Monaco for round 5, and then Hungary for round number 6. And then what I think is a real all specialist second half of the season, we have a break week in between. Then we've got Canada, round 7. The trials and tribulations of Las Vegas for round 8. Singapore for round 9. Mexico round 10. Texas round 11, which of course was the qualifiers track last season. And Abu Dhabi round number 12. So that calendar for EML next season, Mike, Bahrain starting us off on January 22nd. Is it too early to think about the new year rather than Christmas?
Um, it is kind of a little bit too early to think about the new year, but well, it's too early to talk about the new year, but it's never too early to think about the new year. That's what I'm gonna say.
Definitely not. And we will, of course, signups will be open. If not, they are already open, I think, in the EML Discord. I'm just going to double check that and be sure for myself more than anything, because I don't want to give you the wrong information whatsoever. Yes, the signups are now open. I can already see that Team GeForce have got them in, XPG have got them in, and EVE have got them in so far. So if you do want to join the likes of those teams that I've just mentioned, signing up for EML console for season number 8, you can do indeed. I think BRT are just getting their sign up in there right now. Bahrain, Australia, China, round 1, 2, and 3 of the championship. Qualifiers track, by the way, hasn't been determined yet. I don't think, anyways, unless I've totally forgot about it. But I will give you that information as soon as I get through. Bahrain, though, round 1 of the championship, January 22nd. In the end, though, myself and Mike are going to be seeing you next week. It is Spielberg, round number 3 of the championship here in the EML Challenge Cup. It's the Austrian Grand Prix. We're going to be seeing you, of course, next week. But please take care of yourselves and please enjoy yourselves for the next week or so. We'll be back with you at 8 p.m. UK time next week on Wednesday on the 4th of December. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.